However, Zhang, who had prepared several pieces of heating equipment beforehand, was comfortably warm and comfortable after a good sleep. Yi was awoken by the noise of the phone. It was a call from none other than from the undefeated leech herself, asking about how Yi knew about the temperature drop, when he stocked up on supplies every day in the last month, and why he didn't even inform her, who likes him so much.
Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap!
Now she's freezing cold and eating instant noodles. Hearing this, Yi laughed and hung up the phone on her face. The damn girl got angry on the other side. She then shamelessly sent a text asking for food, and it wasn't even that way. Reading the message, Yi decided to troll a bit. He sent a photo of a steak with wine, which she immediately recognized as top-quality Wagyu and a very expensive French wine. At that moment, the urge to have some became strong, and he asked her to eat it with him and drink wine too. Yi's response was, if she wanted, she could go to the market and buy it herself. Despite her anger, she calmed down because she needed to please Yi to be able to go to his place too. After that, he just ignored her and went back to enjoying his meal. It was then that on the building's surveillance cameras on the iPad screen, he saw Shou and Lin, who is the building manager, saying not to panic and not to fight over food. The extreme weather would last at most 2 or 3 days, and the neighborhood committee would help everyone through this online. That excessive hoarding of supplies is prohibited and would be reported to the authorities if discovered. However, one person spoke out against it, questioning how she could be sure that the heavy snowfall wouldn't last long. The surrounding residents also wanted to know, stating that if they didn't stock up on supplies now, Lin would be responsible if they ran out of food. Then, she stated that the neighborhood committee would take responsibility for this issue. Then pointed to Yi to divert attention, just to tell him not to cause trouble. He didn't care about the threats and went back to his super safe house. A week passed, and the snow outside kept falling. In the group, Aunt Lin asks Yi, who is young, to clear the snow from the building's door. He says it's useless to clear because it would be like trying to dry a river with a bucket. By refusing Aunt Lin's request to clear the snow, Yi suggested that she ask the rich people in the neighborhood for help. She was furious and clearly just trying to pick a fight. Angrily, she said that on behalf of the neighborhood committee, this is an order, and whoever opposes the orders will be blamed by the neighborhood committee for the problems. Questioning why Lin didn't call the rich people in the neighborhood to do the heavy lifting, he proposed that Lin, as Chenjung, clear the snow. Changing is a construction boss. He has employees for that, and Song is a rich guy and can afford to pay if he doesn't want to help like everyone else. The authority of Lin in the group was shattered, and upon reading the messages, Lin, cursing, decided to call both members of the group to clean the snow together, tagging them in the chat. Upon seeing the message, immediately got angry with TLN and with Yi for acting as if he owned the place. Song sent an audio message in the group, saying he was busy hard and sent a photo to show how busy he was. TLN was furious with the rich guy's response, but didn't question anything. She just accused Yi of causing this confusion. Yi didn't bother and ignored the rest. TLN was so furious that she called Johnny personally to complain. He threatened her that if she kept talking nonsense and bothering him, he would kill her. Trembling with fear, she hung up and didn't say anything else in the group. While he was eating, a loud noise came from the front door, and changing outside shouted, "You were acting all high and mighty in the chat, putting others against me in the group. I'm going to kill you now, punk!" Yi grabbed his bow and went to the door while Chanjing was kicking magically, aiming through the door opening. He asked, "Guys, if you're enjoying the vid, please do me a small favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I'm trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of 2024. About who would kill whom first. Yi hit Chengxin with an arrow. Through the people, he saw the arrogant guy on the floor groaning in pain non-stop. No one would imagine that a silly and naive boy, an honest person, would have the courage to react like this. Qianjiang didn't know that this was just the beginning of Johnny's revenge with the cold. Temperature. Qianjiang could die if not treated in time. He would slowly die from infection, and Weak would die from the cold. Struggling to reach the elevator, he didn't imagine that this kid he had seen 3 times in his life would do this to him. The truth is that Jangi wanted to kill him at once. Realizing this, he got scared, grabbed the phone and called. An emergency, but because of the snow, any assistance was impossible, so he treated himself. Taking advantage of the cold and numb leg, he removed the arrow himself, then picked up the phone again to threaten in the owner's group. Telling Janie to watch his words changing will kill you fearlessly. Johnny responded confidently, "Come here again, and I'll kill you this conversation." Left the curious ones in the chat group horrified. After all, no one in the region would have the courage to go against Chung. This was the first time someone directly confronted the guy. Furious, he grabbed the phone and called all his employees. In no time, a herd of people, each holding their own weapon, arrived at his house. Baldy led them all to Jangi's door. "Jangi, you offended our big bro. Today is the day of your death." Attacking the door that was supposed to be made of wood, his sword broke and he flew, spinning away, scared. Baldy said that this door is made of pure metal. How many enemies does this kid have? His house is more protected than a bank. Watching the security cameras, Jangi said they seemed weak and must be hungry. The group of people angrier and angrier. Jenny had the idea of grabbing a water hose and turning it on from the kitchen tap. The workers outside saw the door opening passage, not understanding anything because it wasn't an arrow, so there is no danger. The hose sprayed cold water on all of them. A bunch of them fell to the frozen ground. Only a few managed to escape. This scene left Jongyi quite satisfied in this freezing cold. Cold water is more dangerous than weapons. In changing house, 3 of them who escaped huddled together, trembling with cold. He angrily asked what happened. An entire group couldn't catch a boy. The 3 explained that Jenny was very clever. He put a burglar-proof steel door in the apartment. He sprayed cold water on all of us through a hole in the door. Changing said he can't. Hide there forever. Put some men to guard his door day and night. When he needs to leave the house, get him and bring him at the building's entrance. Uncle, you lead some people to clear the snow at the residential area's entrance, planning to dig a path to the supermarket to restock food. But they realized that, as Junkie said, they couldn't dig as fast as the snow fell after a while. They gave up and prepared to return. Watching this, Jenny said that human power can't beat one of this size. Even though the television is reassuring all citizens that the country is winning the snow disaster, Zhangyi is the only one who knows that 95% of the global population froze to death in this snow disaster. His lifelong passion sends a message. Asking if he's okay, if she didn't know the truth, she could be here with him in luxury. Zhangyi says he's fine. She says she's out of food and reminds him that he bought a lot of stuff. Give me some, and later I'll invite you to dinner here slightly. Zhangyi sends a photo of a lobster and says it's already being served for dinner. Seeing this, she gets annoyed thinking that's why he's single. His chances? With her over now, her best friend takes the opportunity to send a message to saying, "You made Feng Yu Qin sad." Now seeing this message, Jingai says that this little drama is weak. The best friend gives up, saying that the snow won't last long. Why can't he help his lovely neighbors? He might even win Feng Yu Qin over. That would be great for him. Zhang ignores and responds with, "Justin, oh, this pisses off the other bitch." To this loser, suddenly turned so Alpha Sigma Red Pill. Yu Chain gives up, trying to figure out why his loser attitude changed so suddenly. They have the idea that if this loser isn't served anymore, they can use another one with less money. So they call up the biggest simp in the building, Zhou Peng. He came running and brought a big bag of supplies, saying it's all the food he has. Before you could fool another sucker, her friends slammed the door, and from the bitch's expression, she didn't even care. She was just thinking about getting revenge on Zhangyi for ignoring her. With this additional bag, 5 days pass and the snow kept increasing. While eating a piece of chicken, while waiting for the real drama to begin, all the buildings were in the dark with the electricity cut off. Soon, neighbors started coming out of their homes, asking each other if they had electricity. Now, with water and electricity cut off, the heaters no longer work. It was getting cold enough to die inside under the blankets. Before finishing the chicken, you were picking his teeth and turning on the generator he had bought before, or stolen, because he also did that at the warehouse. Sorry guys, but that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification button to be notified of when the next part is out. And YouTube shows me that only 99% of you guys actually don't subscribe, so please help me change that.